Welcome back to Career Pro. I'm your host, Chris. I'm the founder of Edunomics Limited. We're an online-based AMC and NCTV platform. So if you're looking to get certified, you can always give us a chance. Now, today's episode is going to be excellent. We have a few questions that persons would have sent in. We have our Build a Business segment where we're going to build a business from scratch. And we also have my section that I like, which is the Quick Minute. In a quick minute, I'm just going to introduce to you a very simple concept. 3 minutes, yes, a quick minute, but it's 3 minutes. And this concept is going to be pretty interesting for a lot of persons, especially persons who are somewhat struggling with time management like myself. So we're going to take the time now to go over all of that. And then from there, we're going to jump into the various sections. Remember, if you want to post or send your questions to us, you can do that. You can go to this link, which is edunomics.biz/careerpro, or you can go ahead and send in your questions at 876-217-5150. So that's 876-217-5150. Send in your questions and they may be posted on the show and we'll answer for live. Let's look at the rule of 100, and this is the entire of the show. So the rule of 100 centers around you doing small things that will equate to large change. Now, the rule of 100 came about from the concept where you take 18 to 20 minutes of your time to do simple tasks daily. So, good example, you have CXC coming up. You're not going to get up and do one whole past paper. Every day, you do 2 questions on a topic. And you leave it up to 4. But the issue is this. For the rule of 100, the best thing to do is consistency. Every single day you do something. Athletes will tell you this. If you work out today, and you don't train tomorrow, and you go back to training the other day, you ever feel it. So the rule of 100 boils down to 20 minutes, or I would say small things every day. And when I looked at it, 20 minutes every day is about 7,300 minutes for the year. And that boils down to about 5 days worth of work, about 120 to 122 hours of work. That's a whole heap of work. Because here's the thing. Jamaicans have a saying, every nickel make a muckle. And yeah, so that is a quick minute for you. Now we're going to be jumping into the questions. Remember that if you have a question, you can reach out to us at 876-217-5150, or you can go ahead and you can send the questions to edunomics.biz/careerpro. So today we have a question from, let me get this correct. This is from Abigail. She's 23, call, and she's coming from Clarendon. Now, Abigail says that I just finished school and everybody keep on telling me that I need to do nursing. Right? But I'm not sure even if I like nursing. How do I figure out what I should do actually instead of just following what people are saying? Yeah, it's a common thing, Abigail, that a lot of persons will have. Everybody say, because I remember when I was young, everybody's, okay, you turn teacher, you turn doctor, you turn lawyer, all right, turn police, join force. Yeah. But it boils down to knowing what you want. But I keep asking people, how you know what you actually want? And in Abigail's case, it is the same question she's asking, what you want. So I recommend Abigail getting assessed. So if you're watching this, I recommend you get assessment. So we're not talking like a cognitive assessment like that, but more of a career, professional assessment, so that you know your likes, dislikes, what you need to do, what subjects you may need to add on, and what subjects you may need to go back and go get. Because the key thing is this, you need that assessment. We do have an assessment tool if you want. It's edunomics.biz/career assessment. If you want that assessment, we're going to send it to you, Abigail, so you can actually go ahead and get properly assessed, what area you are best suited from. So we have Dwayne from St. Catherine. Dwayne is 35, and Dwayne would have said that I've been working in a warehouse for over 10 years. St. Catherine warehouse. I don't want to speculate the company, but Dwayne has been working in a warehouse for 10 years. He says he's not lazy. So I'm not lazy. but I feel stuck. I know the feeling. Is it too late to switch careers? And how do I even start when I still have bills to pay? Yeah. So doing 10 years, yeah. Let's assume, so you're what? 35? So that means you started when you're about roughly 25. Warehouse. All right. So my suggestion to you doing is look internally if there's a possibility of you getting a promotion. You never basically stated what you did at the warehouse, but let's assume that you're in a particular position. Find out, is there a way you can go higher with the position that you currently have? So talk to the superiors. Are there any open positions? Maybe you need to switch departments. Because yeah, after 10 years, the routine of doing things gets a bit mundane. It's like a cycle. Because I remember spoke to a lot of teachers, and some of the times you're teaching 1 year group for the entire day, and you're repeating the same thing for the entire day. Let's say you're teaching third form, and let's say you're teaching sales, and you're repeating the same thing for the entire day. It kind of get you to the point where you feel like you lose it mentally, but I understand. So I would start there. Are there any positions opening internally that you may be qualified for, or you can get the qualification to get that position? That's the first thing. Second thing, no. Again, as I mentioned to the previous person sending message, you need to get assessed. Maybe it's a case where you need to do a career switch. So getting that assessment then will help you decide, all right, maybe it's a case where I need to do something else. My third suggestion doing, I recommend you finding out after the assessment what you're good at after the assessment, and we'll give you our assessment if you want. All right. So the link is here. So with that assessment, you then will say, all right, maybe this how the assessment, them say you're very tactile. So maybe look at a side, depends on how your time for your work stay. Look at a side hustle where you can actually do. All right. So let's say after the assessment, you find out you're really tactile with your hands. All right. Maybe you can look at tiling on the weekend. I don't think you work every single day, but maybe you can do the tiling on the weekend. Maybe you can do look at mason work on the weekend. Those kind of things, because what happens to a lot of Jamaicans is that you get stuck in a cycle where wake up, go work, go school, come back home, eat dinner, go back in bed, rinse and repeat. Yeah. So I recommend the assessment. Find out if it's a case where in the position of the organization up where you can move up, and after the assessment, based on our results, figure out which type of side work you can do for help. All right, so we have Shanice now. Shanice is 19 from St. Andrew. Shanice says, I just left sixth form and I'm confused. University looks expensive. Training looks faster. And social media makes it look like everybody trading looks faster. My apologies. Trading looks faster. And social media makes everybody look successful. How do I choose the right path without wasting my time? All right. So I'm going to step on some of the thought today, but I'm going to still say it. A lot of these men or women who are doing trading, they're not trading to make money. It's the course to make the money. Because if you break it down for most of the platforms that do these things, the commissions, a lot of the platforms for the commissions, they have affiliates with the traders. So after they do the course and they recommend, okay, use X platform. X platform is actually giving the trader commissions of your wins and losses. So that commission fee is like a 2%, I use like a $2, 50 cents out of that $2 might have got to the person who trade you, train you for the trading. So for me, if you want to play with your money, that's up to you. But I don't recommend it, especially if you're a young person, right? And the statistics, you can check it out. 95% of traders lose money. And most of the hedge funds lose a lot of money. They might work against supercomputers and everything. Based on research, most of the people who actually make the money in the financial area like that are either the platform owners or private equity where you use a high amount of leverage debt. So, Chinese avoid that. Now, you mentioned the university part. Now, I'm not sure if your school would have. Why am I on the? I'm on the assessment a lot, but why is it that I think most schools, if you're educator and you're here, I recommend I will give the assessment to anybody who would want it so they can use for your students. It's free. So yeah, do that. But I think the school needs to or should have given you assessment. But you can do your own assessment with us. We have our assessment tool. But anyways, but what I'm saying for you now, you have to decide what is best for you. And what when you get your end goal, it's a method of thinking where you look at your end goal and then you track yourself back to where you are now. Example, I want to go to the beach. I need to plan my route to the beach. So I have my end goal, but I need to plan my route to the beach. So from there, I know, okay, I need to take left here, right here, here, all of that. So get the assessment, say you know your end goal, and then from there you can track your way back. I won't say do a skill. I won't say go at university. Assess yourself first. Assess yourself first. Find out what is your strong areas, what is your weak areas, what are the areas you need improvement on. Then from there now you can go ahead and say, hey, okay, so based on your suggestion, okay, leave me for the accounting degree. All right. And another thing I'll also add and throw into the mix here. Not all degrees are created equal. Not all. But what I recommend is this. Yeah, you get your assessment, and it's a four-step process that a lot of persons would use. I'm gonna post it on the site. I'm gonna post a link here so you can know where you can do some reading. But the steps boil down to this. You assess yourself. You do some research on the thing that you were assessed that you feel like you want to do. You talk to people in the field before you take the plunge. Because you don't want to get to the point where you are here, you do a particular thing because yes, everybody said do it, everybody do something. And then now you end up say, you never actually like this. Or you end up where you're in a field that is highly saturated. Or you end up in a field where you're not saturated, but you get in hard. Or you end up in a field where you know hard to get in, but the pay not good. So assess yourself, one, find out what you like, what you need to study, talk to people in the field before you take the plunge. All right. All right. I think I have the time for one more because I'm trying to do about 4 or 5 messages and so on. Again, if you want to send us a message, a voice note, if you want to schedule a call or anything, you can either use edunomics.biz /careerpro, or you can reach out to us at 876-217-5150. All right. So we have another person, Michael. Michael is 42 from Manchester. And Michael says, I'm a tradesman and I make decent money. Let's take a guess. Tradesman, decent money. May I take mechanic or electrician or tiler on a title? But yeah, so I'm a tradesman and I make decent money, but my body is tired. I want something more stable for long term. How do people transition out of physical work without starting over from zero? So basically, 42, you're coming to the part where your body somewhat not go manage all of the work. So you want to know how you transition from the manual part to the part where you can still make the money, but yeah. All right. That is a good question. And it kind of go back to the build a business section where we'll go to soon. It boils down to building a business. Yeah. And a lot of trades people, a lot of degree people will tell you the hierarchy of things will boil down to how you build a particular business. Now, getting and doing a job, doing a work for a man, bad or not so bad. But if you want the sustenance, if you want the sustainability of your skill and so on, building a business around your skill set and building a business around solving a particular problem is key. But here's what's going to happen now. So with Michael, right? I think, Michael, based off your trade and based on how things are structured, I think what you need to do now is take on one or two youth, help you. Example, let's say, for instance, Michael, you are an electrician, all right, or a mason or mechanic, anyone. When you go for your work, have one or two young men coming with you to help you do the things, right? So you don't have to do everything for yourself. Then now, give them a, how you go structure it like a training for them, not just like this for them just come to help you, but structure it in a way with like a training for them so they learn on the job while they do them thing. Now from there, so now you can transition into, all right, instead of me doing everything, I can leave half to them and half to me. And then it's a case where you slowly eat away at the amount of work that you have to do over time. Now, when you do that now, you know the legalities if you're going to set up your business and so on and whatnot, and we're going to get to that soon, but you have to find a way to, and it's, they say delegation. I wouldn't call it more delegation. It's more of transferring, oh, that is delegation, but it's more of transferring the responsibility from you to the apprentices. In transferring those responsibilities now, let's say they used to be the one for you draw the wire through the wall. You can load them to do that while you go ahead and maybe set up the breaker box. Right? Let's say you were the man who used to pull down the car, if I take jacket up and I take off the wheel and all of that. Them do that while you get yourself prepared for maybe repair the brake shoe, the brake pad or whatnot. You doing that, slowly moving over that responsibility will then take them into the foundation where they learn the skill. Yeah, you can get them certified when you're ready. And then from there, you just start focus on the paperwork. So you focus on the marketing, the getting the people, them getting the work and everything, and you just pull them in, and then those guys, you set them as a base trainers, and they start training other people, and then you start their scaling. But it takes time and effort. But Michael, at 42, yeah, I think that's a case we have to start think about now, because you're getting to the point where over time the body get tired, the body get fatigued, the body get weak. I don't want to run a case where you're here working, and you make no sense. So that is my suggestion to you. Start with 2 or 1 youth and slowly do the delegation over time. This is the part where if you want to suggest a business from the bill, you can leave that in the comments. If you have an idea of a business you have a breakdown for you, leave it in the comments or send it to us. Yeah, we have the number 876-217-5150. Yeah, just about the idea that I would have thrown out is the building of a mobile mechanic shop. Yes, we know there are a lot of mobile mechanics. Yes, I know that there are a lot of people who do that, but I'm going to build my business. If you want to steal it, it's up to you. No. So I'm going to be calling my MMS. So mobile mechanic shop. So it's a mobile mechanic shop. Now, the mobile mechanic shop is going to be focusing on a few niches. Say niche because here's the thing. A lot of mechanics will tell you this, and everything for a mechanic shop make money. And the key thing is this: you need to pick the services that will make you the money. So that is the oil change, or oil servicing, transmission oil, the filter, the air, and filter for oil. So we're going to focus on those. Now, you have your list of tools. So you know the tools you're going to get. All right? So you know your jack, your gloves, your suit, all of that. I don't have to tell you that. It's an exhausted amount of tools, but you know the tools you need to get. But let's get to the meat of the matter. We're building a business. We're not doing a service alone, we're building a business. Now, when it comes on to that mobile mechanic shop, you will need to get your legalities sorted out. Well, this is how it works. Step 1, you need to get your business registered. Now, where you get your business registered, there's a company. It's called Company Office of Jamaica, but it's not the company. It's not a company. So it's the Company Office of Jamaica. Company Office of Jamaica is a government organization that registers companies and businesses. Every company and business that is legal in Jamaica within paperwork has to be registered there. So you can go down to there, either the Mobile or the Kingston branch, or you can jump on a website. All right. Now for the Company Office of Jamaica, when you go on the website, you can register as a business or a sole trader. I would recommend registering as an LLC I have my reasons because the LLC is an independent body from you. If you're registered as a sole trader, you are the business. But it's up to you. You decide which one is best, but you register that. No, what you need to do now, after you finish with down at the company office of Jamaica, you need to go and give a call to the TAJ, which is your what? Tax Authority of Jamaica. So let me explain something to you. There are certain tax requirements that every business must have. You need to get your portal login as a person. If you're running a business, you need a portal login for the tax authority. So you can pay your taxes and file your taxes at your time. 2, you need to get access to your TCC. TCC is your tax compliance certificate. It's a piece of paper that they email to when you request it to say, hey, he's compliant, he's been paying his taxes. You may need it for certain things when you're doing a business. So just bear that in mind. Now, when you get that TCC, they will tell you what you need to do. What I had to do, I had to go down to NHT to get a letter from NHT and then get a letter from NIS to then say, hey, I'm good. And then I took that to get my TCC. I'm not sure if the process has changed, but you need that TCC set up for you with the tax office. So you need to go to tax office, let them know you're starting a business, you need to get your paperwork sorted out. I'm not sure if they do the NHT and the NIS option now for you, but in my days, yeah. Now, when you get that TCC, right, and you get that company office paper, it's going to take about a month and a half to get these. You can now go down to a bank. I won't recommend a particular bank, but I use a particular bank. Persons who work with the company and with the banks we use. A bank we use. They've been really good. So I have no qualms with them. Now, when you go down to the bank, you got to open a business account. Now, that business account is a savings account. Do not do business transactions with your personal bank account. You will run yourself into problems. Yeah, don't do that. Now, after you get that set up, now let's jump to the business part now. You get your TCC, your tax compliant, you have your company document, you have your bank account. Cool. Now, let's look at the business. We already mentioned what we're focusing on. Oil change, brake change, transmission change, filters changing. Now, let's look on the customer side. If you're dealing with a customer, our set of people have a contract, especially when a service-based business have a contract. Before you do the job, have them sign the contract. After you finish the job, have them sign the contract. You need that legal protection. Make sure them read through the contract. So in your case, you're doing the mobile mechanic, you're going to say, all right, MMS is going to be doing X service, B service, C service. So this vehicle, this is identifying information, this is the owner of the vehicle. Have the person sign. So this is what we're signing to do. You make them change. If them changes is a different thing. Then when you finish all of that and then inspect, you make them sign a next paper to say, hey, this is what they did. They did it to my satisfaction and agreeing that everything is okay and nothing is wrong with the vehicle. You can have a lawyer help you to sign that up. You can use ChatGPT to help you fix that up. Cool. Have them sign before and after. Another aspect with the service I wanted to look at is the payment processing. Outside of people, especially when you're doing service-based payment, don't do that work for free. Hairdressers will tell you this. Especially when you're doing by appointment, always collect 25% of your money up front or have a down payment fee that is non-refundable. So, hairdressers, I learned this from a hairdresser recently. If she about, let's say she charge you $15,000 for putting a hair or do your nails or whatever, just an idea. She will charge you a $5,000 payment, which will go to your balance for the service, or she will charge you the $3,000 for booking. Anyone works. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you collect something before you start the work. When them book and then pay that down payment, when you reach at the location, they should send you either the other, let's say 50%, say you do 25, let's say you do the 25, you do the 25 first, and then send the other 50% before you start your work. When you finish your work, then send the last 25, or you just collect the rest of the money one time. It's up to you. But do not, and a lot of contract work, people who do contract work run themselves into this problem. There are stages, and when you do studying contracts and studying how you do work for people and all of that contractor work, they will tell you there's something where you will do when you focus on collecting money in periodical stages to ensure your sustainability, because you have to look at each job as an individual job, right? It goes to the same account, but everything is profit and loss for everything is separate and apart. So X care profit and loss different from Y care profit and loss. Now you can decide whether or not you want to have them buy the equipment or carry the equipment for you, like the oil filter and so on. Some people, I would rather you have them buy it, because sometimes you might not get the thing where you want to get a run up. Okay, but I pay $2,000 for this, but if we go down an X auto parts shop, when I get $15,000. Yeah, let's not run into that issue at all. Let's look now at the collection of payment. You can do bank transfer or you can use a payment processor. Visa, MasterCard, it doesn't matter. You decide how you want to do your thing. Now, let's look at the fun part now, which is the branding. You need social media. You need to advertise. So similar to how we give out free content, you have to give out free content too, for them to be able to, you're supposed to get your customers like that. So you have to go ahead, get the permission in the contract. So record yourself during the fixes, talk to the people about the car maintenance, give suggestions and all of those lovely things so that they are able to say, oh, you know, I know what I'm talking about. Cool. Then now, the advertising, Meta and all of them things there. And I would recommend, especially for businesses like this, set up a monthly subscription if you can. Because everybody's services their cars differently, and set up packages if you possibly can. All right. So that is your mobile mechanic business. If you're interested in this information, let me know and I'll post it up for everybody to get access.